129,000 people have been laid off by tech companies in US in 2023 alone. The number worldwide is around 1,80,000, and this is only the tech company numbers. Obviously, there are many more layoffs happening. Let's look at some of the biggest players here. So Google has nearly laid off 12,000 people. Microsoft and Meta have laid off around 10,000 people. Amazon 9,000 and Salesforce around 8,000 people. Now these are the companies that used to hire and sponsor a lot of H-1B visas for Indians studying in the US. Now when they are laying off, it means that they are not hiring, obviously. So it means that all the Indian students who are now graduating from universities in US are competing for much fewer tech jobs, right? Does it mean that the tech dream of Indian engineers studying in US is coming to an end? The billion-dollar question is, should you still go to study abroad when so many layoffs are happening? And this is what I will be discussing in today's video. In the end, I will also share my advice on whether you should go or stay back. Keep watching. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are discussing a very important and serious topic, that is, what do all these layoffs mean for the Indian candidates who want to study in US. And before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we have new content coming up every week. Now today I'm going to discuss two main pointers. First is how bad is the job market in US, and secondly, should you still go to study abroad or defer your plans? So let's look at the first point, which is how bad is the situation. So this is how I would summarize the situation this year. Back in 2019, people used to go for, let's say, 100 job applications and they would land 5 to 6 interview calls. But in 2023, people are applying to 300, 400 positions and landing only 3 to 4 interview calls. Also, a client shared an interesting statistic which I am going to share with you as well. So number of tech jobs that were available in March 2022 was around 4,76,000, and in March 2023 this number has come down to 163,000. That is a 70% decline. So obviously there's cause for concern. Now let's also think about whether these layoffs are just a short-term problem or they are going to persist for many years to come. For this we need to understand a little background on what's happening. So I've talked to a lot of employees in these big tech companies, and the realization is that for past many years these companies were on such a high that they started a lot of ambitious projects and they hired a ton of people in these projects. Now that inflation has hit them bad, and we discussed a lot about inflation, recession, etc. in our last video about recession. So combining the issue with inflation, which was further causing a decline in VC funding and also consumer spending, and combine that with the mammoth rise of generative AI technologies like ChatGPT, what has happened is that most of these projects have now become too expensive or even irrelevant. So now these companies don't know or are having to shelf down most of these projects, but they still have all these people they had hired. So they have massive headcount on their payroll, and they are worried about how to keep paying these salaries when the revenue itself is stalled. This is what is causing them to now start firing off more and more people and figure out how they want to proceed. Now we know that AI is going to change the nature of tech industry and many businesses. Microsoft has already taken a lead by integrating GPT with its Office suite of products, and other companies are simply trying to catch up. We are seeing Google is rethinking its search business and many other apps as well. So we are in this transit stage where tech companies are still figuring out which direction to take, and while this happens, hiring will remain slow. Now we know that AI is going to here, it's only going to grow. So my advice is that you should think of how you can ride this AI wave, because that is one place we know where ton of opportunities is going to open up. Now we already did a video about 5 kind of careers that will become huge in this AI era. So what you want to do is you want to get into something which will grow with AI, and you want to stay away from anything which is at the risk of automation. And this impacts hiring as well. So once the companies have figured out what direction to take, what projects to invest in, the hiring will resume thereafter. And I think the opportunities are going to come, especially because our community here is anyway STEM folks, so they should be able to ride this AI wave. So the only caution here is for people who are in any field which risks automation or becoming obsolete. So if you're in such a field, you should already start thinking of how to pivot towards a more AI friendly career. So let's get back to the job hunt scenario. And as I said, this year is unlike anything that we have seen before. And here are some pointers. So number one, what we are noticing is that many big companies, or especially tech companies, they used to finish their internship hiring by December, January itself, but now they are waiting until April or May to figure out whether they have the budgets, etc. So hiring is delayed, offers are rolling out very late as in April, which can lead to panic situation for some students. So don't be worried if you are still seeing that people are now getting offers after such a long wait. So that is the norm this year. Second point we are seeing is about the full-time offers, and here we are saying that most of the full-time offers are actually the offers that are being given to the interns. So it is a return offer to the intern. What it means is that getting an internship is easier than getting a full-time job right now, which makes sense because companies do not have to think about H1B sponsorship, etc., all those hassles for the interns. So they can hire interns at a cheaper price point more freely, whereas they will have to probably let go the full-time employees who are at much higher compensation packages. Third point that we are seeing is, although it's easier to get internships, we are seeing a decline in the stipend that is getting paid. So earlier, a person who used to get, let's say, 100K annual package is now receiving an offer for around 85, 90, 95 kind of package. So stipends have lowered a little bit. Now, while this does not sound good, I think 85K package is still pretty good given that the job market is so tough. So if you have an offer, even if it's at 85 or 90K, I think that's still a good deal. Now let's talk about specific cases, and I'm telling you exactly what I've heard from my clients. So one client who was studying analytics at Georgia Tech was still looking for summer internship 3 to 4 weeks ago. We tried finding referrals, connected a lot with alumni, etc. Ultimately, 3-4 days ago, he informed me that he has finally landed an internship. Now, while that is good news, but I'm just thinking that if a student from Georgia Tech has to hustle so much, what is the situation at lower ranked universities? So the struggle is very much real. But let's move on to some positive news. Another client who was studying MIMS program at UC Berkeley, he got 2 data science internship offer in the first week of April itself. One is from a very high profile tech startup, and another is from a MNC. Another client who was doing operations research at UT Austin, she actually got 2-3 internship offers in fall itself and is heading to Dell. So that is a great situation to be in. Another CS student from NCSU has bagged software engineering internship at Toshiba. Now let's talk about full-time. Another client from Berkeley MIMS program. This is another guy. It seems like we have a lot of clients at UC Berkeley. But anyway, so he got his internship offer converted at Epic Games and he's joining them full-time. Another electrical engineering client who graduated from Stony Brook has already started working at Apple this year, and this was not a return offer, by the way. In fact, he was rejected from Apple for his internship, but he then got a full-time offer. So that I think is a phenomenal achievement, especially in this job market. So now everyone is commenting how tough this year has been. They are fully exhausted by the job search, and all the scary news that you are hearing is true. But at the same time, what I want to point out is that people are still finding internships and jobs, especially if they are going to good universities and hustling their way and preparing proactively right from the beginning. What do I mean by hustling their way in? What I mean is that there are things you can do right now which will help you immensely when you're trying to do your job hunt in the grad school. This is what I cover in my signature internship and job hunt masterclass. In fact, all the clients that I've mentioned above have gone through to this internship masterclass with me, and looking at all the results and the feedbacks from them, I think that the tactics that we discuss have definitely been pretty helpful. Now this year I launched internship masterclass as a standalone course, and I would highly recommend taking it if you are heading to US this fall. I'm going to leave the link in the description box below. Feel free to check it out if it sounds relevant. So let's come to the most important topic in this video, which is, should you go to study abroad or defer your plans? And here I want you to understand something first, and that is the people who are looking for jobs right now made their decision to go abroad 1 or 2 years ago. When they decided to go to US back in 2021 or 2022, they could not have predicted that layoffs will be happening when they are graduating. Similarly, people who suffered in the COVID time in 2020 were people who went to study abroad in 2018 or 2019. What the point I'm trying to make is, you cannot predict the situation that will be there in 2024 or 2025 when you are graduating. It could be better, it could be worse, but it will be different from what it is today. So it's very difficult to decide what it would be like based on current market scenario. You should not make long-term decisions based on the situation today. Secondly, historically we have seen recessions are a great time to upskill yourself or go for higher education, because the job market is anyways slow. So while there are less number of jobs out there, you can study, upskill yourself, and by the time you are ready to job hunt based on your new skill set, the market could have picked up. So historically this is a good time to go. Lastly, I find it better to focus on things that I can control rather than worrying about external factors. So I would rather worry about my interview preparation, my networking skills, my job hunt skills, rather than worrying about the political situation, recession, job market, etc, etc. Because the truth is, you can never time the market, as a good trader knows, right? So don't try to time things in life and delay your life, rather than make yourself so resilient and be prepared for whatever comes in your way. So my advice is, I think you should still go to study abroad, but first look for programs that include internships, because as we have seen, it's easier to find internships than full-time job. Secondly, look for programs which help you leverage the AI wave. And thirdly, go to decent university only. Stick to top 80, top 100 max. You don't want to go to unknown universities or very small towns, because it will be a nightmare to find jobs in those locations. Because when market is good, everyone everywhere finds a job, and when market is bad, these are the universities that suffer the most. Still, the decision to defer or not is a hard one, and there are two situations I think in which you can consider deferring your admits. One is if you're feeling financially desperate right now and you want to do a lot more, or at least some more saving before you can invest in your education. And second situation is if you're feeling absolutely underconfident about your job hunt skills and you want to utilize this time to get maybe new work experience or upgrade your profile, which will help you in job hunt later on. So my only point is, do go for deferral only if you think this 1 year is going to make a big difference in your employability. So to summarize, I don't think you need to defer your plans. You can still go ahead with your study abroad plan, but do it wisely. Stay more prepared, make yourself ready for the tough situation, and be extremely prepared for job hunt. As I said, I will be leaving the link for internship and job hunt masterclass below. Do check it out. I do think it can help you. So that was it from my side. I know it's a tough situation out there, and if you have more concerns or questions, leave it in the comment box and I will try to address them there or in a follow-up video. How you like it? Keep sending us your love and feedback, and we will see you next week with a fresh new video. Thanks and bye-bye.